The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Wapton Falls monthly regular meeting of the Mayor and Board of Trustees. Today is Wednesday, December 13th. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please silence your phones. And when we get to the public comment section of the meeting, you need to come up front to this speaker, the microphone, and speak so that people on TV can hear you and see you and know who you are. Please do that. Okay. We have recognition tonight of first responders to the November 2nd explosion fire that occurred on what's known as Brick Road off of Mill Street here in the village. We've had some real heroes on that, to say the least. So tonight, the Mayor, Board of Trustees are going to present them with awards from them and the citizens of our fine village. So, Mayor? Yeah. And if I could have the 5 recipients stand up near the flag here. Come on. We're going to do it in 2 parts. We figured that the American Legion wants to recognize them as well, so we're going to do the village first. And then while they're here, we'll do the American Legion quick and finish, rather than have them come to another evening meeting. So, first of all, we have an award, Village of Wapton Forest Falls Award, the Meritorious Union Citation to the Highway Department for exceptional service in mass casualty incident on November 2nd, 2023. That? Secondly, we have an award. Village of Wapton Falls awards the Meritorious Unit Citation citation to S.W. Johnson Engine Company for exceptional service and mass casualty incident on November 2nd, 2023. It was very nice, a fireman there holding a child, which is exactly what occurred. Mayor? William T. Garner Engine Company, Village of Webster's Falls awards the meritorious unit citation to William T. Garner Engine Company for exceptional service in a mass casualty incident on November 2nd, 2023. This is for William T. Garner. Thank you. We have individual awards. We're also they're all the same. I just want to show you for their desk. This is for Jason Ensign, Courageous Leadership Commendation to Jason Ensign for exceptional and gallant leadership as incident command of a mass casualty incident on November 2nd, 2023. Special award Superior Service Commendation to Thomas Politowski for exceptional service in mass casualty incident on November 2nd, 2023. Thank you. John Kozak. Senior commendation to John Kozak for exceptional service in mass casualty incident on November 2nd, 2023. Thank you. And we have one more for the person that's here. Ray Kwan. Is that right? Yes. Kwan, White? For valor, service, and extended rescue operation during a mass casualty incident November 2nd. You actually went to the casualty. And then you got, they kept him there, checked him out. Highway superintendent,
He's stuck in traffic.
he's stuck in traffic.
He is on his way.
That still exists then, huh?
I don't know.
It's a big accident on Route 1.
Okay.
That's a shame.
Can you guys take a little closer?
Okay. America's finest.
I'm ugly, so I had to be fashionably.
You are here just in time. I gave out awards to your highway department.
Best man you can find, sir.
That's for you to all hang up in a very conspicuous spot so that all can see. I'm very proud of that. I know we all are. Distinguished Service Cross and Life Saving Award is hopefully closed. John? Close, that's gotta be closed. We talk all day, every day.
Get up there. What are you doing?
For exceptional
That's funny.
service at a mass casualty incident, November 2nd, 2023.
Get another photo.
At least I spelled it right. That's right.
Chief Ivan Nolan. He's his partner.
So at this time, Commander.
Well, we're gonna get another.
Scrunch in.
Now I'm gonna put one of my other hats on. And Commander, Chase. At this time, I want to present, we're all the same, but for firefighter certificates of accommodation presented to Thomas Polakowski, John Kovac, John Kozak, Juan White, and Jason Ensign. Of the Village of Wappers Falls, this commendation is awarded for outstanding public service benefiting our community, state, and nation, presented by American Region Post 427, Department of Post Membership, this day, 13th of December, 2023. John Clark, Accident, Raven Chase, Commander. Okay, Thomas? Front and center.
Hey, do push-ups, sir.
Front center.
Do push-ups.
Front center. Let me just say a couple of things. Very seldom do I have an opportunity to speak out in public about our public servants. And doing that, we all remember, we're sleeping, we're sitting on the front porch, mowing the grass. These guys are always there. And I'll tell you, when I say they're always there, you pick up that phone, they're there within 5 minutes or less. No way. We'll try with water and police, they do. Anyway, is that we all have to recognize that it's just not an ordinary job of public service. These are extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I give full credit for all what they do. So now we have an opportunity to give them some credit. And I stand forward. I was airman second class, and the general told me, and I got decorated. He told me front and center, and I don't do that to each one of these guys. Everybody, front and center, ready? Order up. Congratulations to you all. I would just like to say, you all did an outstanding job on the far, far less than ideal conditions. And everybody knows it. Thank you all.
I just want to say a few things. So, as a volunteer fireman in Mayor Village, I spent the first part of the day fighting the fire with these guys here. And I spent the rest of the day until late evening, like close to midnight. With the rest of it was the highway, the road department. They all did an awesome job that day. They did.
were also other heroes in the police department, and they're going to be recognized by their team. Right, Paul? Yes. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda.
Who's the little guy belong to? Who's the little guy belong to? Anybody know?
Is that Aiden? I can't.
And does he have a kid?
He does.
Then it probably was him because he kind
Gotcha.
of went to.
Okay.
It's cool for little guys.
From where I'm sitting, I can't see him.
No, yeah, he was like.
Agenda session. Can I have roll call? Mayor Hoover.
Present.
Trustee Nicholas.
No, it's terrible.
Trustee Telezak. Here. Trustee Nesnek.
Here.
Trustee Williams. Here. Trustee Ruffin.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Village Attorney Lindars.
Here.
Action on minutes. Regular village board meeting, November 8th.
We get a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mike and Jen. Special village board meeting minutes, get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Second monthly village board meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Mike, yeah, yep.
Authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Tonight we have a public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Wappingers Falls will conduct a public hearing tonight, at which time all parties in interest and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard as to whether the Board of Trustees of the Village of Wappingers Falls will adopt proposed local law number 3 of the year 2023, a local law to delete and replace Chapter 151. Public hearing is open. Any comments?
Any comments from the board?
I just don't know what the local is.
Local law is posted on the website for quite a while, and it's quite long for me to read. It's on your agenda.
I don't have the agenda.
We've been working on these for like a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
And tonight's the final hearing to adopt a local law to accept the changes to Chapter 151. There's been a team working on these for, like I said, many, many months. And we're finally to the point tonight. We had the formal hearing, we've done everything that we needed to do up to this point, and later on tonight will be a resolution to accept the local law. Yep,
Yep.
come on up.
Hello, Mayor, Board of Trustees. For formality's sake, my name is Adam Lauricella, 2722 West Main Street. I find it unfortunate that I'm here, and I am here because I want to discuss this on the record, and I hope that in spite of past positions, there can be concessions regarding this. Just a small bit of background for anyone who's not aware of this, though some of it is not meant to be condescending because a lot of you know the history, but I was involved, luckily, to work on this with a really exceptional team who did the bulk of the work. My role as a trustee here for a period of time, I was working quite regularly and in contact with many of them in an effort to get this hurdle accomplished. That's why I actually have dread in the fact that I'm here on the 11th hour. But during my time in working on this, I was involved in a process that was going as such. I was fielding lots of questions. I was advocating for many people. There's been a change that has come clear in my effort to manage my current property that was not there when I was a part of the process. And I'll give you the situation and then tell you why it's a complication for me and what I'm hoping the Board of Trustees will do. So 2722 West Main Street is a commercial property. It has a accessory or an apartment above. It is a finished dwelling underneath, but it's not a completed apartment. I started an application process, and in doing so, having talked with our building enforcer Brian Murphy, having talked with Tom Morris as a citizen who owns the property looking to do this, there was a lot of, shouldn't be a problem, because it shouldn't have been. And I went to file the paperwork, and I was told, oh, there's a change here. Now your property is going to become village residential, which now basically makes my property, I understand that I'm grandfathered in for my current usage, but it's, when you're a small business and you don't have a union and you don't have a corporation, you don't have a 401k, you fight and claw and beg and plead, and you get to a place to buy a piece of property as part of your, hopefully one day, you have a legacy or you have a package that you can maybe retire on. So now, as I see it, from my current plan and with my wife, is that now my building is devalued as I see it. And now I have to either reconcile with this or ask that the board see this as perhaps an error or an oversight. And I kept going back and going, I don't understand, because I feel like I would have seen this as I went to all these meetings to keep doing this and doing this and doing this. Maybe I wouldn't have, right? But the map was July of 2023. I wasn't getting those maps at July of 2023 because, as you know, I resigned months prior. But I recall there may have been other ones emailed to me. It's I don't know. But what I do know is that when other property owners had questions or concerns, I took it seriously. I consulted with everybody, and we worked, and we crafted, and we changed. I sat through meeting after meeting. This could have been passed a long time ago, but it wasn't. And then as I get to this thing, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a serious concern of mine now. I've been a good steward of my property. I will continue to be so. But I'm a block away. Now there's a change, and it's like a business, and then there's some houses, and I just fade into residential. And I understand that there are residences, I'm in a residential area, but I bought a long-standing commercial property. I understand this is the way governments function. I understand it's your prerogative. But I'm just trying to be real delicate because I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone. I don't want to call anyone else into my quagmire here. But I advocated for people in spite of my differences with people. I worked to find a resolution. I considered people's best interest, and I'm really asking that there be some sort of consideration to this because I feel that it's lacking the consideration that I would expect at this time. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have, and I hope someone does have a question so I can clarify anything that they're wondering about.
I just want to try to understand it. I was on the village planning board for many years. So it was zoned commercial before.
Yeah.
where your business is. And now with the new code, it's switched to,
Yeah, village mix, which allows, yeah.
Nobody was
Tom,
willing
would
to
you
take
weigh
a
in on
deli
this?
on the first site plan, apartments on the first floor.
Current is village mixed use, which allows these types of establishments. But on this particular stretch of West Main Street, the commercial at the Cafe Caliche, then it's residence, all the way up to around the curve. And as such, we were trying to kind of bucketize that and keep it residential, families, singles, two family, three families, all acceptable in there.
So I will just say for the record, I stand corrected. There was a one dated in May of the previous year, so to Mike Ruffin's point, I did see one. And so it's an oversight. I overlooked advocating for my own personal self, to be honest with you. And so here I am as not a trustee, advocating for myself and my family. Had I saw it, I actually would have been banging a pot at that point. I'm not going to say like, oh, I didn't do it because I didn't want to like benefit myself. I'm completely disappointed in my inability to catch that. I will just say.
You're a valued member of the community and a business owner who brings value to this community and draws people in. You have nothing to apologize for. So please don't
I
feel
appreciate
that way.
But I wouldn't have. Had I caught that now, I wouldn't be standing here. Had I caught that then, I wouldn't be standing here now trying to figure this out. Because I understand everybody is anxious, especially Tom Morris. So I don't know if there's a way to. I've spoken with Trustee Williams, who is, I believe, a liaison currently on planning. I don't know if there's a resolution to allow this. But to your point, it was zone village mixed use, which allowed several different things, and now it would no longer open me up to renting, even though I'm grandfathered in as it functions now, and I'm fine. If I want to retire, if I want to keep it and rent it or sell it, it can't be a salon, but it also can't be a chiropractor. It can't be a florist. And I think that the challenge is right now in a village that is desperate to solve parking solutions. And as I said on the planning board, there was a parcel that was a commercial space that had parking that was no longer. I used to advocate for first floor commercial in these areas. I think it's flawed to be willing to prohibit commerce in a place that already has a parking lot in a village where we are seeing how desperate and how difficult it is for the investors. I watch the shows. The investors come here, talk about parking. We're trying to solve parking issues, and I have a solution to that parcel, and there's a challenge I find myself in.
I believe I know the piece of property. It was Baldy and Roses, and
Right.
before that it was a house, and before that
Well,
it was a firehouse.
Before it was the house, after it was an insurance agent,
Another salon.
another salon, an insurance agent. There was another professional business, not an attorney, but something like that, an accountant. It's been many, many years.
Your loss for your buying cost and what it would be worth if you went to sell it now is what you're looking at.
Well, I don't know, because depending on who you ask, they'll say, well, there's more value if it's residential. But currently, there's limits to that residential use. Well, not currently. It will become a challenge. I don't know. What I'm saying is I would like the latitude to make the decision for myself. That's really what I'm saying. I don't know if it will be worth less or more. I don't even. It feels that I didn't consider it all those many hours. I mean, it's been shown to me. I knew about it, but I did not consider it. Hour after hour, phone call after phone call, meeting to help people's properties you know, we had, I mean, Trustee Niznik had a parcel that crazy for us to change, to change that to something that, other than what it was. Because they owned it expecting to be able to do that, and that's the right thing. That's the real fair thing. And so we had another parcel where the person owned the properties, and we were going to just poof. They were going to have nothing. And we all were creative and thought about what's the best for the village. So I'm not only, I mean, I understand I'm saying this is what's best for me, Adam Lorcella, and my family, and I'm making no bones about that. But I also do think it's a responsible decision for the village as well. If you have a parcel that has a parking lot, and then you're going to say, well, that can no longer do that should you decide to move on. You're going to just plant grass there, and that seems like an issue to me. Or it doesn't seem like an issue to me, it's an issue to me.
And on the other hand, they'd have to make one piece of commercial property in the middle of a residence.
Well, no, you can't do that, because that's
That's
spot
spot zoning.
zoning. But what you can do is just continue with the 5, 6 houses and stop it.
So from the lady who has addresses outside to, that's the last?
Well, no, I'm talking about
Cafe
Cafe
Con
Con
Leche.
Leche and the half of Roy Avenue, actually, because,
I'm talking about the one on West Main, across from St. Mary's.
No, he's only wants
Main
to,
store, I know where his is.
he
But
wants to
where
move it
are
a
they-
block
Where are they cutting it off at?
at West Street, at his,
you know what? Your question is where are they cutting it off? North, right?
Yeah.
Or no, west? How far west are they cutting off? I don't know.
No.
I've been the whole time,
West Main Street, they're switching from mixed to residential. And if you said it affect from one commercial building up, how?
I understand your
Are you
question.
talking
I've only
about-
been considering, I don't know, I have to look, because I've only been thinking from Cafe Con Leche up to me. I haven't been looking from north to south.
Because,
If I can speak.
Please.
Cafe Con Leche, the north side of that property, all the way up around the bend, up to, across from the
mobile
gas
station.
inclusive of the florist antique shop and the building next to it.
so what about
Up to that.
the little thing that used to be a paint store? Now she's selling dresses there. What's that gonna be, commercial or residential?
That's gonna be residential also.
So,
It's gonna be village residential, correct? Talking about the same property, not residential, it's two different categories.
Yeah, village residential, yes.
Residential.
Village residential. A little more latitude than straight residential.
so if these people sell on West Main Street, sell their houses, that means they have to make the first floor commercial. Am I correct on this?
No.
No. You can't just sell your house and then make, like Mr., like the person
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
left of me,
Yeah.
can't just sell his house and make it a commercial.
No, I'm not saying
space.
him, but like, somebody
No.
buys the house.
No, in village residential, the first floor would be a residence.
Yeah, but I'm saying if we made it commercial though, it would have to be commercial on the first floor up into that commercial zone. Am I correct on that?
Actually, that was village mixed use. And
So Adam,
No, I don't believe that's correct. If you have a home that you're living in as a residence, and
Yes.
you sell it to someone, it is not correct that it would have to become a store.
No, it would stay as a.
No,
as a
it would
residence.
stay as a residence.
stays a
It's
residence.
that I'm a commercial building in a village mixed use currently,
Okay.
which they're phasing out.
Yeah.
I am allowed, that parcel is allowed to be. If you were to sell your house, you could not open, the person buying.
Understand, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I knew the downtown
Like you
part
wouldn't
of it.
have to worry that all of a sudden people are putting in businesses.
Yeah,
Because I understand, there is I get the concern. I sat there and worked on it.
Yeah.
I get the concern.
Correct. Pre-existing non-conforming use if you're gonna sell the building.
Now,
So, yeah, exactly.
That's
Now.
the issue.
Correct.
And then I,
Oh, I'm sorry. Tom looks like he's
No, no,
jumping the bit.
I
Oh.
was gonna sit down, but I just wanna make sure. Get up here.
Would you mind showing me that text thing that I'm gonna read? Because I don't have it. Thank you.
You want the second?
so just to give you an example, when it comes to the
Oh.
businesses that can be there or can't be there. So a club or a nonprofit cannot be there. Oh, okay, I mean, that could be a low-impact business that could serve the community. Can't be there. Community center could be there with a special permit. Colleges and universities couldn't have an auxiliary there. A library couldn't exist there. A municipal use says P star. I assume that means with a permit.
Mhm.
Can't.
Permitted with
Site plan
Okay,
approval.
thank you. You can't have a museum. You could have a wildlife. You could have a park. You could have a public park. You could not have a police or fire station. Odd, because it was a fire station. You can't have a post office. You can't have a school, any sport. You can't have a studio. What's that?
That burned down.
Yes, sir. You can't have so then now here's where it kind of starts to be like, well, maybe this is a problem. You can't have animal grooming. It seems like a business that, why would that be a problem? You can't have an animal hospital or veterinarian, could serve the community. You can't have a kennel, which I get that. You can't have a bar or tavern, okay. No dispensary, but that's all in the village. No conference center, no convenience store, no beverage, no fitness center, no food truck, no formula business, which I'm not sure what a formula business is. No funeral home, no gas station, those seem fine. But like some of these things, no nursery, no medical, no dental, no business, no professional. So like an accountant, an attorney seems low impact. These are the problems. No restaurant, no retail business whatsoever, no service business, which feels very broad. I mean, no theater, no vehicle sales, so some of them I do get, but some of them it's like that broad, no this, that feels
It used to be mixed use.
hard to me. So it's really like, so what could you have? And so that's why I find myself here. Again, honestly, if you look back over the couple of years, do you think I want to be standing here, falling on my sword, Jen?
Yeah, I like it.
Right? No. The answer is no. I obviously don't want to be doing this.
First thing I noticed when that map came out.
What's that?
First thing I noticed when that map
Great.
came out.
And I never noticed it. But I noticed yours. And I was like, we got to change it. I even called you. I was like, Jen, we got to, this is not right. Don't, and that's in spite of. So,
What would you do to make it right?
well,
Since you've been,
I'd come to the experts to ask. That's why I started a dialogue here. I don't have the solution, and that's honest, because I'm not trying to dissect everything and eviscerate what was worked on. I really don't have the answer. I don't know. There could be a simple one. This guy knows a lot about planning and is a bright.
well, that's what I mean, it's not something I don't think you'll get the board to answer. I'm not educated in zoning. and
Oh, but Mike,
planning.
the attorney must be pretty smart guy, right? You can't go and doing what you're doing if you're not.
I think
Whatever.
Yeah, let me add a couple minutes here. This area was evaluated for what was mostly there, and that is all residential. Now, Adam shared with you what couldn't go there. I'll share with you what can go there. Single-family dwelling, two-family dwelling, three-family dwelling, townhomes, work dwellings, not that we want this, manufactured homes, but that would be allowed there. Community residence, customary accessory uses and related structures, accessory dwelling unit with special permit, boarders and lodgers, family daycare, group family homes, home occupations, short-term rental hosted, child daycare with a special permit, community center with a special permit. So there are a few different things.
Yeah, there are.
What are you asking for here?
Well, I think that like I said before, was hoping that I could have the latitude to decide what that property is used for. Because I'm using it as such. So if I, again, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be working till who the hell knows. But if I wanna sell it, if I did wanna sell it, well, forget about selling it. I wanna own it and I wanna rent it. You can't sell flowers there. You can't sell a bagel there. You can't do nails there. You can't be a chiropractor. You can't be a dentist. It's like, but what if those are the people? You know, you can't have any retail. I mean, that's pretty restrictive, and I understand why. So why am I here? I don't know. I just figured I had to live here.
Yeah, residential.
Correct.
Right, there was the building across the street, but what the planning,
Well, that's what I think is the biggest thing. So I don't know what the solution is, and maybe that's my mistake. I should have had one.
or you
Coming
can
here?
block, like, right, because this used to be a deli, this is a tattoo parlor, so you can block out, look, just like this is like,
At this time, I'm sympathetic to the issues, and at this time, I don't know what the solution is. I don't think we should try to conjure up a solution right now, 7:30 at night, to try and figure out what the solution is. I don't think that we can write that solution into the current law without it going back out to public hearing and changes that we make. But I think it's important to note this is a living document that will change. Because I look back, after we talked, I look back at all of my records from when I was on the planning board, and when I was going through, starting with comprehensive plan and moving forward. And again, I don't know what the solution is to avoid spot zoning, which we can't do. But at the same time, deal with the hardship that you are potentially facing. You're not facing a hardship right now. I'm talking about a hardship.
Well, I am, if I could just speak to one thing, I am, because I have a current application in.
Right, no, I'm talking about the reasons in which a zoning board of appeals would look at spot zoning.
Well, I don't think you should spot zone. Really, if I were gonna be the real pragmatic, it would just be continuative modifications. That's what my solution would be.
And that, I don't know, today, tonight, I think we all need to look at the situation in more detail and to come up with a solution to that issue. But there's nothing to say that we can't change in the future. We can't change uses for good reason. What is allowed in village residential or village residential, those things can change with local laws. This document will be amended and tweaked in the future and changed. And I think in the short term, you know, when we're talking about an individual property like this, and that was the last thing, you know, I said to you, after I went home, I opened my computer, I looked at all my documents, you know, when we're talking about individual property, you know, those are issues that zoning boards of appeals deal with.
We did talk about individual properties as a board. As a board here, though, I just want to say that that's a little flawed because we did talk about it. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that's slightly flawed because we did it. And I'll just say one other thing because you said I'm not in an immediate situation. I have an application that makes me into an immediate situation because based on that, what I am asking for is not allowed.
Right, and I don't know the solution to that without delving into the world of spot zoning.
Okay, that's fine.
Tonight.
My main concern was to have this into the historical record, and then that way I'll know how, based on how you proceed, I'll know how I proceed.
No, and
Know what I mean?
And Adam, I don't want you to think I'm not unsympathetic to the issue, but I think that as we move forward, everything that we hear, and when the new code goes into place, there'll be new applications over the next year. And we're like, oh, okay, that's something that needs to be changed, and that's why we have a legislative committee, so that we can then say, listen, this didn't work out, we need to change this, and that's why we change parking over here, or,
Yeah, I get it. Those wheels are slow turning, but I get it. So time is money, I will say. So if you start having to do those things, I hope that they go quick. But I get you. I hear you.
that this isn't, this hasn't been updated quite some time.
Oh, I know.
And so, therefore, if future boards, who knows who's going to be sitting up here, but if future boards are proactive, and the public is proactive in adopting what the needs of the village are, then we won't have to go through a 3-year process of revamping an entire.
Right. I appreciate the ifs.
And that's the whole purpose of this, is to compare what we have, and that's what got us started here in the first place. We have to pass this in order to be aligned with the long-term comprehensive plan that you guys all work so hard on.
I understand. I can't believe there was such an oversight. Do you have anything to say regarding it? Anybody else have anything they can offer in this situation?
I do understand what you're saying. I was in the same situation where my property, a little bit different. I'm over across the Route 9, and my very commercial street was the whole street was being changed to a residential street. But from what I understand,
It has been. Basically has been.
No.
No, I'm saying with you, they've flanked your properties with
But my street, Marshall Road, is, by doing that would have made practically every single person on that street non-conforming. So that was changed, and I believe that was an oversight, and it was, yeah, so.
That's out of control.
Yeah, so that was, so I do, understand when you have a property, you want it to stay what you bought it for. So I can appreciate that. So yeah, I just, as far as my opinion, what you were asking me what I would do right now, I would, I would have to rely on, I don't know how far this takes us back, and I have to, agree with James, it is a living document, and if it needs to be changed, it needs to be changed. But, I do understand what you're saying, absolutely.
I really don't like the idea of hurting a local business owner.
Yeah, but do you have to vote on this tonight?
We are in the 9th hour. We can always amend it in the future. So it might, Tom?
Can you put that into the resolution, that you can amend it? As long as it's in there, then it should protect him a little bit better.
It doesn't even need to be in the resolution. We could amend it later,
Village
really
board
at
can
any
always
time.
amend its zoning code.
Yeah, so
That's what it's doing now.
it's intrinsic of our resolution process. You have the ability at any point in time to alter your existing living documents.
It's an authority the board has.
Tom, do you have any comment from the planning board? The planning board official stance on this? Because across the street used to be a deli, Raymond's Deli for
No,
years.
next door to my house
Oh,
used to be
next
a
door,
deli.
okay.
Yeah.
Across the street.
Oh, yeah, from you, yeah,
Across
yeah.
the street, sorry.
Yes, it's all residential now. That's one of the emphasis for this whole discussion, was to change that to all residential, because that's basically what is all in that area. We have this one situation here, but,
It's challenging. I will just say it's a little. What is all it is? Because a block away, it's not all it is.
so the document that was said by a number of different people is a living document.
Okay.
We do anticipate some updates next year. As with time, we will be back to work through those.
So, Tom,
I will not take up any more of your time. I appreciate you listening to me very much.
Thank you.
Be sure to read your things that you work on, because man, did I make a major oversight being busy to advocate.
He's got to come to the mic. Got it.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. Are there any more comments tonight, hearing from the public, from the board? Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Carried.
Resolution number 7623 of 2023, resolution adopting a neglect with respect to local law number 3, 2023. Do we have a motion?
James. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Joe? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 72, or 7723 of 2023, a resolution adopting local law 3 for the year 2023, a local law to delete and replace chapter 151 of the village code entitled zoning in its entirety. Can I have a motion?
So,
Who was that?
that was Joe. I'll second.
Mike?
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good job, all that were involved in that. Resolution 7423, 2023, hiring of part-time deputy village clerk.
Can we table this until the executive session? I'd like to talk about something. Is there a
I have a
motion?
motion on the floor to table this to exec.
Until after executive session. Until after executive session.
Or till after
Yeah.
executive session? Sorry.
So after this session.
Yeah, we'll vote on it afterwards.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Thank you.
Resolution number 7823, 2023, police assistant part-time. We hire a part-time assistant effective December 18, 2023.
I'll make that motion.
I have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Resolution 7523, 2023, resolution declaring surplus equipment and authorization to sell such equipment. Equipment is the very used zoning enforcement officer's Tahoe. It's an '09. It's been replaced by a 15 Tahoe that was surplus from the fire department.
Get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Mike, se-
I would like to make an amendment on that motion. The proceeds of that sale, the budget line and number were, at the time that this was delivered to the board, not provided. I now have since obtained the budget line. So the proceeds of the sale will be deposited into building contractual budget line AA 8320.400. So
I'll make that motion per the attorney's amendment to budget line.
Is there a second?
Second it.
James? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
What was that budget line again, that number?
Yep, it's AA 8320.400.
Okay.
We would need a vote on the actual motion as amended now.
We got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And carried.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just had one question about that. If I don't sell it, if I can't sell it, and I end up scrapping it, would that make a difference? Or would scrap value would go to that code?
Well, we're authorized to sell it now. If it doesn't sell, you'd have to come back to the board.
Okay. If you look at your packet toward the end, they're separated by a red paper. There's this third determination planning department. And they voted a resolution to be lead agency for work being done. The site plan with application was given from, I can't say that name, Jalali Ulufal. They add 2 dwelling units to an existing 2-family dwelling, created multi-family dwelling at 2544 South Avenue. Tonight, you're being asked to agree and consent that the planning board can be lead agency on that project. Can I have a motion?
2 red papers.
I'll make that motion.
I have a second.
Either one.
Okay.
Take a second.
Trustee Smith,
All right.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Tom, you got another one. Your lead agency on another one. Charlie Ferry's here tonight to discuss procedure he put together. That's also in your handout. If you look toward the end, after the red paper. Charlie, you want to come up, please?
This is a procedure we worked on as part of the Parks Committee. And it's a way for the village to get some trees and benches in the parks without the village spending money. The village would put themselves in a position to accept donations of those items. And people would be able to donate them for a loved one or a past or current village resident who passes away. On the bench or tree, there would be a small marker, which it's explained in here what it could say. So that's about it. There's a couple of reasons for it. One is obviously to be able to replace trees and benches or get new trees and benches without the village needing to spend any money. And also to have some control over the monuments that are put into parks, that, you know, it's not just random. This policy would take away the ability for people to put private boards in the parks. And so that's it. So we're working on it. I sent out the document, just at what point the village board may feel about it, if they want to discuss it, or at some point vote on passing it.
I had no problem with it. I kind of liked it. I mean, I talked to you a couple of times about it, and we talked.
I think this third program will give architectural uniformity to the park.
So what we would look at, as a committee, we'd like to identify benches for each park. Like you would think, like somewhere like Messier, we'd have historic benches. You know, Betson might be more of a sports type, you know, watching sport things, or playground, benches by playgrounds, for farms.
There's more other municipalities that have worked with their local funeral homes to work this into the types of things that can be donated with funeral homes and one of the more events. Process and make that process transparent. So I think it's a good step in the right direction, and anytime we have more trees.
The other thing that's in here, which I mentioned, if say a corporation or somebody wanted to make a large donation, we would control what that donation would be as a village. You know, whether it could be a flower garden somewhere, a ballpark, a sports field, how much money they wanted to donate. But it would be up to the village to work with them to create something rather than them coming in and
Just do it. Yeah.
just. So I don't know, does that have to get voted on, or?
Yeah, is the board comfortable with it? I know
Are we
Charlie
comfortable with this?
put a lot of effort into it. Can we vote on it tonight to adopt this procedure? I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second. Or trustee Nielsen?
Either one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Carried.
Thank you, Charlie. Good job.
Thanks for the work.
I'm in receipt of correspondence, as well as the board. The fire companies have their annual elections every December, and they provide me with the results of those elections or appointments.
I don't think you have to read the names off. I don't think you have to read all the names off.
No, I'm not.
Good. Too many there.
So I would like to have a motion to accept the correspondence from S.W. Johnson and William T. Gardner.
Get a motion? There a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anybody from the board have anything?
That concludes the printed section of the agenda. Mayor, if you want to open it up for public. Just remember, if anybody wants to speak, come up front, state your name.
Anybody from the public? All right. I get a motion to go into executive session?
Before we do that, can I just give a police committee update?
Oh, sure.
Okay. I just want to let everybody know the police department is in the process of making an accreditation. And what that means is the police department adapts and maintains standards and policy and procedures in 3 categories: administration, training, and operations. Reaccreditation is required every 5 years, and this is actually a big deal with police departments, and it's a distinction. Our police commissioner can speak more to what that means, but essentially, it means that our police department goes above and beyond to serve the community. So Wappingers Village appreciates what the police department is doing, I'm sure. I also want to make a note, in the last police committee meeting, we discussed that the records management system was needing some rework, but we're in the process of doing that. Our police commissioner also mentioned that he would like to discuss some honorable and meritorious service. One of those people that the police commissioner would like to recognize is Officer Detective Sergeant Jennifer Farrell for her outstanding work in going well above and beyond expectations as a PBA representative for both the victims of Brookside Gardens fire and the gas explosion on Brick Row. As Paul writes, Sergeant Farrell has spent countless hours of her own time coordinating donations, outreach. She's set up and provided meals to victims that were staying at the hotel for Thanksgiving, and she's conducted numerous investigations, as well as she oversees all department investigations now for the Village Police Department. The police commissioner would also like to recognize Officer John Wilson, who stepped up with his knowledge and background, and he was a representative to the fire investigation for the Brick Row fire, and he was on scene for the explosion, and he coordinated the investigation for multiple state agencies, as I understand it. Is that?
Yeah, private. They were there all week.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. Police Commissioner, is there anything that you would like to add?
No, I think you covered everything. Everything else is contained in that report that I gave you.
One other mentionable item, the police department has partnered with Carfax, so you're no longer going to have to contact the police department and wait on it. If you need an accident report, what Carfax does is host them online. So welcome to the 21st century. You can go online now and just pull it instantly. Put in your credit card info and you're done.
You'll be able to go right to the police department website and get your accident report through there.
Is it about time that was done, ladies? Or?
I am about time.
She doesn't know the computer.
Well, no worries. We'll still help you out, I'm sure. If you have trouble, yes. Call, I like that, and that rhymes. Call Paul. Yeah. But don't worry. You can still get your accident report. Well, the snow ordinance is in effect.
Right now.
Currently. So, yeah.
Your Honor?
Can I just add something to that real quick? I know, John, you had mentioned it earlier that we'll be recognizing the officers for that day. I'm just assuming that'll be in the next month or so.
Yeah, I spoke to Paul, and I asked him if he wanted to be in on this, and he said he's going to do his own.
I don't recall what conversation, John, but
Oh, yeah, I think I right to you immediately. I figured we'd do them all, but you were going to do
Well,
some.
we'll have
We'll do-
something by next month.
If I could have just a moment. I do want to mention one thing. The village had a Hanukkah menorah lighting ceremony on Monday. I want to thank the police constables who came out, very helpful. Members of the W.T. Garner Fire Department who provided a fire truck for the rabbi. It's a cold night, but we had a lot of people turn out, and it was a very nice event for the village. And thank you to all those who helped put it together.
Good job, John.
Very nice. And you don't have any of the other committees, highway, fire?
We're gonna start doing those at the end of our workshop meetings. This way we can be prepared for the regular board meeting. Anything else?
Can we clap for Jen and everybody, all the work she's done?
Yes, you can.
Good job.
All right, get a motion to go in executive?
Can I just ask that we invite the clerk into executive session with us, please?
Sure.
I'll make that motion.
Is there
I'll
a second?
it.
John?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Clark?
You're staying.
Wait,